Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have Chrissy, Footprint Tarot Chrissy from Australia. So she is actually in Tuesday morning, right?
Yeah.
So she's talking to us from the future.
From the future.
From the future.
Hours ahead of Sheila. So yeah, 14 hours ahead of you.
Yes. So, anyways, I saw a thing that you just did a collaboration with Linda G.
I did, and as she was lovely and gracious and gorgeous as always. Yeah, it was so much fun. She's just a joy to work with, as are you, my dear. And yeah, it's just I had so much fun with her, and it was wonderful to do that. And she hopped on her little thing and said, come and check this live out, I'm on with such and such. So I got a lot more viewers than normal, and the number of views on that video has been and
Good.
Yeah, so but it was just an absolute joy. Hubby said, are you still starstruck like you were last time? Because I was totally starstruck last time I heard it. And I'm like, oh hell yeah.
It's still there.
Totally starstruck.
Well, I have not had a chance to sit down. I was planning on doing that tomorrow morning while I was at work to listen to it. I haven't been able to listen to it, but I saw it. I knew it was there, and if somebody wants to go find it, it is on Chrissy's Footprint Tarot's channel. So definitely go check that out. Subscribe. I don't know why you haven't already, but subscribe.
Thumbs up, and it'll be in the live because of course it has videos, live shorts, all that sort of thing. So you go into the live tab and it'll be there.
Yeah, I think our viewers have finally figured out where you go to videos or the lives or shorts. They
used to just dump it all in one. So yeah, there's some councilmen out the front. One of them's doing a jig and they're talking. So if it gets a little bit noisy, it'll be because they were using a leaf blower, but I think they finished out the front of our place. So.
All right. So tonight we are going to do some political videos, right? Political readings.
Yep. Yep.
Is there anything that you're interested in and want to read about?
Somebody asked me a question.
Okay.
And just excuse me for just a minute. I'll look it up on my phone.
Oh, you go for it.
On Georgia.
Okay, well, Chrissy couldn't find the question, but we're going to move on. So what we're going to do is we are going to ask the question if all of the defendant or all of the people that have been indicted in Georgia are going to be tried all at once. Now, we're not going to probably end up with 19. There's going to be a few people who are going to plea out because, they can't afford a lawyer. They're going to give up. So we're going to dwindle this little 19 list down for one. And I want to know if by the time that is all done and over with, by October 23rd, if they are going to try everybody at once. I mean, we already know that Trump pleaded not guilty. That means we're going to trial.
Well, I think that at least 9 or 10 of them are going to plead out, and possibly. So I think it's probably going to end up being 10 or 11 on trial, including Trump. So let's have a look. Will they try them all at once, like it's co-defendants all lined up?
Yeah,
Trump won't like that. He'd have to.
He won't like that because that means he doesn't have a leverage or an advantage if they all.
Yeah, and it just puts him in with people who
everybody else.
Oh, I pulled 2 cards. Knight of Wands. That are definitely investigating this possibility. And the Hierophant. I like this. This so reminds me of Trump. One of the symbols of the Hierophant is, I don't know if they're there, is the cross keys, which is responsibility. The cross keys are not on this card, but here he is saying, I'm not responsible. So they want to do that. They want to treat him like they would everybody else. And he won't like it. It will be a really big humbling moment for him. He's not attending the arraignment in person, I understand. He's actually going to Zoom in or something. They gave him that option. I don't know why, I wouldn't know, but that's me.
I don't think they're zooming in. I think his lawyers get to stand in his stead. And even at that, I don't think that they've already come to.
Yeah, they've given them all the option.
Yeah.
So he's not being treated differently to any of the others. But he's being lumped in with them, and he, you know, he's going to be, that person did this and that person did that, pointing, you know. I think that there's a possibility, definitely. And there's definitely a big, this is the major arcana again. It's the Wheel of Fortune. So definitely a change in the way things are running for him. And not a good change, because in the past he's tended to just get away with stuff, and it's not happening, and it's going to continue to change. I like this card because all of the little pieces of paper are like evidence, and all this evidence is definitely going to lead to a change in fortune for him. I don't have reversals in this deck, but this card speaks so much volume with this person, you know, just refusing, not learning any lessons. I'm getting from there. And it's always everyone else's fault. So, yeah.
That is so true. I got a mixed bag. Self-sufficient, security. I asked the question, will they all be tried all at once? And I kind of get a mixed bag of 9 of Pentacles with the luxuries of something about that. But the Page of Wands comes over top of them, which is the travel, discovery, the risk taker. That is very interesting. Then I get the King of Pentacles, power and discipline, meaning, yeah, you're going to do what we want you to do. You're not going to be able to pick. And then I get the Queen of Wands underneath, like she's in charge. Sorry, dude. The judge is in charge. Fawny Willis is in charge, but you don't get to manipulate this court, buddy. But then I get the Four of Swords going forward, which usually means time out and deal with it tomorrow and stuff like that. But time out on justice, maybe it's the timeout on him playing around, because I get justice and death, the end of the playing around, end of, you know, trying to manipulate things. And then I get the achieving first stage, which is probably picking the lawyer or picking the jury and all of that. So it was really kind of weird, the regret and the loss with the people who are left, and they're going to be charging forward with all of these indictments. But something weird, you know, like they're going to throw out a whole bunch of delusion and this, that, and the other. I don't know if this October date will stand. They may have to shift that out a little bit because of all the shenanigans, but they're definitely trying their dangest to just wiggle out of everything that goes on. So, and I think I have a feeling too that they're going to be very few of them left at the end, because, you know, poverty, none of them have the money, including Trump, have the money to withstand this trial.
Especially when it could be something as like a fine or a suspended sentence or stuff like that. But I drew one more card, and who's going to come out on top here? And I've got the King of Swords, which for me is the prosecutor. So, yeah.
Yep, the lawyer, the judge, the prosecutor. She's going to stand in their way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to read on the schnazzies, because, you know, YouTube doesn't like us saying these kind of things. these little schnazzies walking around Florida with their flags. I want to know, what does Florida residents think about their state being infiltrated by all of these schnazzies with their schnazzy flags, like in front of Disneyland, standing on a bridge. I mean, they're just, and they had a little video that says, "We are everywhere." So let's take a temperature about that and read what the Florida is thinking about that. What did you come up with?
Well, I drew 3 cards, and the first one was the sun. And this is about what Florida thinks about them. And this is basically, this was always going to come about with the way that Ron DeSantis has been behaving. This was pretty much going to bring these guys out into the sunshine. And the general feeling is it is a consequence with the 3 of Wands of what was tossed out onto the, seas off the coast by Ron DeSantis. So it was pretty much a foregone conclusion, I think. They've just been waiting for it. But here we have an evening of the scales, a return to balance with the 6 of Pentacles. I get they're going to really make most of their time in the spotlight, but that spotlight, I don't think it's going to last very long. I'll just do one more card here for that. Yeah, and then they're going to be pushed back into the caves again with another hermit. Yeah, you got the hermit as well. Yeah. So they're going to be pushed back into the darkness. Yeah, I mean, I know that over here in Australia, in the state of Victoria, they have banned Nazi symbols. You're not allowed to display them. You hear people saying, "Oh, we have the right to free speech."
You gotta get closer to your mic, honey. We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. They've banned in Victoria. They've banned Nazi symbols, and we've got people saying, "Oh, but we've got the right to free speech and express ourselves." Well, we're not America, and there are some key differences in our constitution. I'm not a constitutional lawyer, but I do know that if it is felt in the public interest, yes, they can say, "No, you can't display this," or "You can't display that," because it manifests hate speech and things like that. So the state governments have the right to say, "No, we won't do it." So yeah, but that's just over here. But yeah, no, I think they'll be in the sunshine for a while, and it's a very much consequence of DeSantis. But there will be an evening of the scales, and they'll be pushed back into their into the basement in mum and dad's house, or wherever they come from.
I got the hermit too, that they're going to go and be solitude and reflect and, kind of rest and be prudent about their beliefs again. I also got that, but not without somebody taking some legal action. I got the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords going into the future, that somebody's going to take some sort of legal action against them, about them, around them. And that brings them to shut them up and have them stop. And here's the thing is the projection that they're creating. And then there's going to be some retaliation about their projection. And then here is the legal problems that they're going to have, the court problems. So that is interesting. But now what keeps on coming to me? I don't think like Trump is like with the white supremacists and all that. I think he's with the Aryan nation. The Aryan nation makes a lot more sense because of Germany.
Mm,
I think that he is connected with the Aryan.
quite possibly. But I just did when you mentioned legal action, and I think that somebody, one of this group of Nazis and all that, is going to go too far. There's possibly an incident where they try and grab an opportunity and it goes too far, and there's quite a bit of confusion, and it ends up coming into an institution, in this case the court's responsibility. I hate to say it, but there is a possibility that these guys might hurt somebody before they're shut down, and I hope that is not the case. I really hope and pray that is not the case.
Let's read and see what DeSantis thinks about them.
DeSantis.
Yeah, let's see if he agrees with it or if he doesn't.
Let's see. I'll grab a different deck here for him. DeSantis. Does DeSantis agree with them? I got he agrees with the voting power they carry. So, if that makes sense. He agrees with them in that he sees them as a temporary panacea to keep people from talking. So getting out there and scaring people who are speaking up and stuff. So basically he's using them as a salve for that. But that is coming to an end, and I think some of them are being paid to agitate with this. But guess what? Next up with DeSantis and his association here. Hello. Big tower for DeSantis. This guy is going to crash so hard. He's going to crash like a meteor hitting the earth and just being splintered into oblivion. And the only crater that's going to be left is that of his ego. So, yeah.
The only thing that fuels that man right now is an ego.
Just that's on.
And an ego and apparently some sort of drug, because he looks like we've got some videos that, this is just this is not proven. Nobody can, this is not proven, but the videos that he looks like he's on some sort of drug. His mouth moves weird. His eyes are weird. He laughs weird. He's just this creepy man.
Is there something wrong? Are things not connecting properly inside his head? It seems like he went from an asshole, but able to do his job, into this whirling, dementia-filled mass of contradiction to everything he was probably brought up to believe. So
he is very delusional. I agree with you.
Is everything okay with the wiring in his head? What have you got for that thing?
Well, he has waves of emotion, but his emotions are poisonous too. And he sees the loss. Somehow he's seeing it, blocked, cut off. He's seeing that Disney is getting the block, that Disney's getting the loss, and that's making him happy of some sort. He doesn't really see them as a huge threat. He just doesn't. He sees them as, that they're doing exactly what I want them to do. He's a pretty high up there. The Two of Wands, achieving first stage, progress. And then I got the Five of Pentacles and the Star. So zero healing. He's like, I'm not, and there's no healing that's going to happen in this. So he's causing the lack of healing, which is hurt, pain, minus the healing. But he is kind of worried about not being able to control them. Isn't that something? He's very worried that he can't lock them up, control them, put them in their place. He's very worried about that. The Queen of Pentacles right here. The Queen of Pentacles, of course, is down to earth and getting the things done and seeing the big picture on that stage. He's like, I don't know if I can control them, but then again, maybe he's getting votes for me, and well, they're causing pain for Disney, so I'm kind of happy about that. It's almost like he doesn't feel like he's gonna do anything about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like he should do anything. There's just freedom of speech. Nothing going on there.
He should be worried. And that shows those two cards, the 9 and the 8 of Swords, shows what this card says. You know how I asked, is everything fine with the wiring in his head? Nothing wrong with it.
Yep.
He's fine. And I also noticed that you had a 3 of Wands in there. He's just in desperation because he feels his grip in Florida being losing. He's just trying everything. He's throwing everything out there to see what comes back and benefits him. But again, he's heading for that tower. So it's like,
it's just crazy what's going on in this country right now. But you know what? Let's take a temperature on how well Mr. DeSantis is doing in his campaign. Now, we all see the news feed. We all see everybody's like, he's not doing very well and this, that, and the other. But let's really see what the people are seeing, like the Republicans who would vote for him or the Republicans who were watching this. Let's see where he stands with them.
Okay. I'll get
never go into DeSantis because DeSantis thinks he's going to win everything. So,
oh, my little crystal thing here. One of the crystals has come off. I'll put it back on later. Yeah, not surprised, but yeah, I've got my pendulum here, so a whole heap of dice and some pendulum mats. So we've got the yes, no, maybe, and oh, we've got 0 to 9. There we go. That'll be interesting. Okay. So pendulum. Is DeSantis's run for president going well? Now, I just bring it up and let it settle. It might take a little bit. So, and then it will swing into where it wants to go. And it didn't take long to go, no. Well, now it's twirled again and it's settled back into a no. How do people rate DeSantis from 0 to, so this is, look at this. This is, what rating does he have from 0 to 9, with 9 being the highest? 9 being almost there, which I suppose would be the presidential nominee. What
still like him, huh?
Yeah, no, it's not going wrong.
Oh,
not going wrong. So I'll see pendulum. What is his candidate strength? How do people rate him as a positive? What is his chance of becoming the Republican nominee? Well, at the moment, it's on the line between 3 and 4 out of 9, with 9 being that last step.
That means only people in Florida is going to vote for him.
So not as well as he seems to think. Well, let's have a look. Will people in Florida vote for him?
Well, the crazies will. I mean, it's just like rooting for a horrible football team. It doesn't matter if they lose or not; they're going to still vote for their team.
Will
right,
Florida
get out my Celtic cards.
vote for DeSantis?
Can you hear me shuffling?
No.
Isn't that weird?
I've got yes, but it's a weak yes. Will the RNC delegates vote for DeSantis? Oh, it immediately swung into no then. Okay, I'm going to ask another question here of my pendulum. Will the RNC delegates vote for Trump? It's not moving at all. Which to me indicates she's not even going to be on the ballot at the RNC.
And maybe not. Maybe they're not even going to nominate him, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, I kind of wondered what his base or the Republican base, and what do they really think of him, right? What do they think of him?
Apparently, what have you got for all that?
Well, actually, they really tried to give the Republicans a better choice, right?
Yeah.
A better choice, or a lot more choices, right? Mm-hmm. Come on, you guys, we got to shift our gears. We got to shift to somebody else. Here's some other people. Here's some other people. But DeSantis ends up in his 3 of Swords, lying on this, in the cold and, lifeless. He doesn't get very far with the base. They're not giving him his money like he's supposed to. They are, they're just leaving him alone. They turning their back on him. They're not impressed with DeSatan at all. Here's the end of DeSatan. They're not impressed. So he's not really getting anywhere with them.
They're looking at what he's doing to his own state, and they're thinking, well,
you got to get closer to the mic, honey.
Oh, sorry. They're looking at what he's doing to his own state, and then they're going, well, he's going to do that to the whole friggin' country.
Yeah, but the Republicans don't care about that.
They do if it's their state.
They don't care about that. I mean, all these other states are doing just as horrible things, and they don't care about that. Yeah. But they care about what they care about with who's gonna unleash the worst pain on the Democrats. That's all they really care about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who's gonna unleash the worst damage on the Democrats? That's who we're voting for.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, and no one's going to do enough. No one's going to do enough. It's just no one can do enough. I was watching another a Linda G this morning that she put up yesterday, and who was she talking? Anyway, this Marjorie Taylor Greene and her wanting to impeach Biden and all that sort of stuff. What do you think about that? Is that I cannot see that even getting past a vote in the House.
It's not. I mean, they've already talked about it here, like they don't have the votes. But let's read on it. Let's see if the my hair is just going crazy. If they have any you got the peacock and I got the fluff right here. They don't have the votes in the House of Representatives. So let's just do a real quick and dirty cards. Let's see like maybe 2 or 3 cards and see if in the House of Representatives, if they threw a vote out right now, right here, right now, if they were going to impeach Biden or start proceedings to impeach and Biden, if they would have the votes for it.
I've got the Page of Wands, which is the call. Then we've got the institutional process, and I just got, there is still enough responsible Republicans. You just won't have a bar of it. If they'll either abstain from voting or not be there, it's not going to be able to happen. They just don't have enough. So it's a non-issue. Yeah.
I literally got the Emperor, which would be Kevin McCarthy, but he doesn't have the support.
No.
So he can't, there's nothing he can do about it right now. But you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene is another little she's losing her clout.
She is.
She's losing her clout. She's losing her respect with her own base. They've proven that to her in New York. They've proven that to her in her own state of Georgia. They ran her off in Fulton County. So let's see. You know, her unless her district gets redistricted and something happens there, we all know she's gonna get it. Those people will not shift. They will not shift. They do not care. But she wants to be VP so bad. So let's see what the other Republicans are really, if she's losing her respect with the Republicans. Like if she went for a big office, would she really get in?
I think there's a lot. I think 80% of them had no respect for her, and the other 20 theatre. And those 20 were in a position to be movers and shakers. So, well, I've got the strength card, but that's only half the story, isn't it? What about her strength? Okay, so we've got the strength card, but then there's a change. A change. What sort of a change? Hello? It's the change of the 7 of Swords. A sapping. Stealing energy. Stealing. The strategy's not working. Stolen strength. So, yeah, I totally agree that her power within the party is waning very much so. And I also feel like the thing with the 7 of Swords is you take risks, but if those risks don't pay off, bang, upside down, you cannot avoid having to face the consequences of those risks. So, yeah, I do think she's riding for a fall.
Well, she was the high priestess, and the family was really happy with her, right? She's doing it. She's just obnoxious. But then all of a sudden, infighting, like the turmoil within her base is going on in there, and the romance is starting to wane. The romance that they had against her is starting to wane, right? The internal. Well, then I also get strength. But I get strength in the 4 of clubs or the 4 swords, laying down, going away.
Yeah. Waning.
A lot of strength in the waning of her support.
Yeah. So,
it's going away fast, which is good, but it doesn't mean that we're going to be rid of her because of her district.
If they chuck her out of the Republican Party, and I keep seeing that as a possibility, you reckon she'll run as an independent?
I don't think, well, she might, but I don't think she's going to get too much support out of the independents. However, she might switch. She might.
Because I've just seen, I get the words thrown out. And I see that, is there a possibility she is going to get expelled from the Republican Party? People standing up to her and pushing back. Quite possibly.
I do know in 2024, the great and wonderful and huge possibility of the Democrats taking over the House of Representatives and keeping the Senate and keeping the presidency, that she will lose her seats again. She will not have a voice at the table anymore.
No, she won't, especially if she has to go independent, because she will have no power. She will have no influence, because being an independent,
no money,
fine. And even if you're an independent bully, so what? You don't have the money behind you. You don't have and she'll be very ineffectual. And yeah, but I don't know. I see her gone within the next 3 to 5 years, hopefully sooner.
Yeah, I think her theatrics are going to wane and going to be diminished, and somebody's going to do something about it.
Yeah.
Yes, usually the Democrats. All right, so we've got one more question. So the Republicans are losing money. I mean, the DNC is literally down from the last time I heard was 12 million, which is nothing compared to what they have to do to support a whole country of candidates.
The RNC, yeah.
The RNC, not the DNC. Did I say the DNC? I meant the RNC.
Yeah.
The RNC.
Yeah.
So let's just see what's going on with their money. See where it's going.
And money, yeah. Well, we know a lot of it went to Trump. They just handed it over willy-nilly.
Well, we'll pay for it all.
I also got going through my head, there will be prosecutions.
Well, serves them right.
The people who control the money in the RNC, there will be prosecutions. So let's have a look. What's happening with the RNC and the money?
Well, they got
the Page of Wands. Sorry.
They thought that they weren't going to go so gung ho. There it is, gung ho on making sure that Trump is held accountable for all of his sins. So they didn't think that they were going to go that far, but they have.
And people, they give directly to Trump. If they don't want to give to Trump, they would give to the RNC. But then the RNC turned around and gave all the money to Trump. So now they're not giving to the RNC because they didn't want that money going to Trump. And they gave it to him. So we've got the Page of Wands, a messenger. There is definitely people talking about actions. So this could be a witness as well. The Four of Wands. Hello. Wee-hee. Celebration. It can be celebration, but for me, Four of Wands also represents 4 pillars of security or 4 pillars of whatever it is. It could be a code of conduct. It could be, financial, political, ethical. There are still some ethical Republicans. And like four standards. 4 standards. And I feel like it's a break. So I feel like this should be reversed, which would be a breakup of a family. The Empress. There is so much stuff going to be coming out about the RNC and their activities in the last few years, especially with relation to giving money to Trump. it's going to take ages to go through it. It's going to take ages to go through it. This is going to be a big thing. Like every one of those little dots is a new piece of evidence. Every one of those little flowers or petals or whatever. They nurtured him. They nurtured him by giving him money and supporting him. And they could have just cut him off at the knees immediately. And then we got the King of Wands. Actually, there's going to be new leadership in the RNC at some stage. Will there be accountability? Will there be indictments, charges? Will they find out where the money went? Oh, yeah, there's going to be charges. And that's the Chariot. Will they find out where the money went? 8 of Swords. They most certainly will. There's a couple of people who have really painted themselves into a corner, and this is often seen as a card of someone going to jail. So that's going to be really interesting to watch what happens there.
Well, I got the Emperor and the King of Wands.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They got the Emperor and the King of Wands too. They they're born leader. They have to follow their leader. They got to take care of their leader. I got the Ace of Cups. Yeah, the love of the gluttony guy, the love of him, the love of their thing. But then all of a sudden they needed to lie, cheat, and steal as to where the pentacles are going to. They all of a sudden they're shifting their money to somewhere else that they don't want nobody to tell about. But what the cards tell us is it's going to the lawyers because Trump is being held in justice.
Yeah.
That's where all their money has gone. Yep. Not only to Trump, but to anybody else that was involved in this whole dang thing. And they're not getting any money back because of all of Trump's stealing and thieving. Not getting the money like they used to, and all of their little backhanded money deals are not working out like they used to. So I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to go broke. That's what they're going to do. They're going to go broke as a joke. And
I got on the bottom, the 7 of Pentacles, things not adding up.
Things are not adding up.
Yeah. And yeah, I think 12 million is nothing. They are broke. Yeah. It's like, now you see me now. Lots of connections are going to be made. Don't be surprised if you see indictments. Trump indicted on something to do with that too, defrauding or something.
Somebody's probably going to be held accountable. But the thing about the RNC, it's almost like nobody cares. We don't care if they go broke. The only people that should care about it are the Republicans. Are the Republicans going to go raise a stink about it? Who knows? Maybe somebody will get the case of the butt and say something or do something. But you know what? The Republicans they are not. They are not. I mean, if they raise a stink, somebody's going to get threatened. If you raise a stink, they're going to know where it went. And if they know where it went, we're never getting any money back.
Yeah, investigations and past actions. So investigations into past action. I think a lot of them, if they have to register with the RNC to campaign and to do that sort of stuff, they'll do that. It's paperwork, needs to be done, get the relative number of signatures that are required and stuff. But they're not going to trust their money to the RNC. Campaign funds will remain in campaign fund accounts, and they're not going to go to the RNC like they used to and stuff. So
yeah, I don't see them recovering any other money.
Your grassroots candidate just doesn't trust them.
Have a hard time. They won't be able to campaign. They won't be able to rally. They won't be able to do any commercials. They won't be able to fund their traveling, their gas money. They won't be able to pay any staffers. I mean, 12 million will not go far.
You're going to have to do grassroots campaigning, because that's the only way they'll get money, and they'll have to stick close to home instead of going and sticking their noses into other people's business.
Exactly.
Because they won't have the money to do anything else.
Nobody ever gonna be broke. There won't be any money in becoming a Republican anymore. Maybe nobody will want to be a Republican anymore.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of people who say, look, I'm going to vote for you, but I'm not giving
Can't
you
hear
my
you,
money.
honey. You're too far away from your.
Sorry. I said there's a lot of people who are going to say, look, I'll vote for you, but I'm not giving you my money.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
They've been duped. So, all right. Well, thank you, Chrissy. This was fun.
I hope the sound works on this one.
Yes, it should. I made sure everything was good to go.
Okay.
So, yeah, this should be up sometime soon.
Okay, no problem.
Probably Tuesday.
Thanks again. And yeah, thank you very much for having me. And we got to do it again.
Absolutely.
Maybe you can do a live with me at some stage. Come on my channel and do a live with me.
I know every once in a while you'll send me a thing, a notification, and I'm like, oh.
I just, you know what? I do that spur of the moment thing occasionally to see if anyone wants to join. It's never any pressure to join and all that because of the time difference. Yeah, so it's fine. That's not a problem at all. So anyway, thank you, darling, for having me on your channel.
Thank you. And you can always catch her on her channel. Please go check her out.
Chaos ensues.